Okay, and we're back. Am I doing it wrong? Probably, absolutely. I'm probably doing it wrong. Look, I mean, it'll take a while for me to figure it out, which is why I really don't care right now. I'm doing it more of the OG organic YouTube style. I've listened to a lot of YouTube advice to the point where it's like it it would take me forever to do it the way that everybody recommends. So I'm just going to start with what I can do, and then I'll ideally get better. So we'll see what happens there. I mean, I got to reduce the friction as much as possible and make it just as easy as I can make it on myself, because some of these programs are a little bit difficult to work with, and I'll get used to them eventually. Anyways, so done talking about money for today. Everything looks to be pretty much chopping sideways. Nobody knows what's going on. So you have a balance between optimists and pessimists out there in the market, and difficult to say. But gold and silver are still doing really well, and the market's doing really well. And Bitcoin hasn't decided yet. Anyways, now for the AI side. I think what I'm going to do here is okay, based on actual data from where we're at right now today, since 3.5 of ChatGPT, I want to know what is our current trajectory as far as how AI is proliferating, uh, just everybody with their everyday use. What is the hard facts about what we should be doing right now with AI?
Right now, AI adoption is expanding fast. About 20% of firms in developed countries are using AI, up from under 9% just a few years ago. Larger companies are adopting faster than small ones, and about 88% of companies use AI in at least one function. However, only about a third are seeing measurable business impact yet. Spending on AI is skyrocketing, and the next big wave is agentic AI, models that can autonomously act on tasks. If you're using or teaching AI, focus on scaling practical use cases and building trust.
Okay, so what would be a realistic comparison to how the internet started kicking off and booming back in the early days of the internet, as far as if we were to be able to look back and see what we could have been working on in the early days of the internet? Like what should we be doing with AI, as far as what should we be learning or preparing for?
If we think back to the early internet boom, those who thrived didn't just learn to browse. They created, connected, and structured things for scale. With AI, the parallel is to move beyond using AI just for curiosity. You want to create value. Develop workflows where AI automates mundane tasks, refine prompts to solve real business or creative problems, and think about AI infrastructure. Just as early internet pioneers built websites, databases, and e commerce platforms. Learn to integrate AI into products, master data literacy, and prepare for AI governance, because just like with the internet, those who shape the structure will lead.
Okay, so trying to keep up with it's pretty difficult because I chose a path to where I saw AI was doing pretty good with coding. So I don't think, for me, coding is a skill that I really need to learn in depth. Maybe that's not where my strengths are. So I'm trying to understand what I could be learning as far as either keeping up with what AI is doing, or as far as what I could be using or learning about AI in order to prepare myself for the next few years.
You don't need to be a coder to thrive with AI. Focus on complementary strengths. Think about areas like prompt engineering, learning to creatively shape AI outputs to solve problems. You could also master AI toolkits, whether for content creation, marketing, or business automation. Stay sharp on AI ethics and policy, these are going to be critical. And most importantly, develop AI fluency, where you understand how to integrate AI into workflows to boost your entrepreneurial plans. In essence, think of AI as a partner, and your skill is knowing when and how to leverage it.
So for those who are coders or developers who are used to using their API keys and things of that nature, they're already building things like OpenClaw and there's some other programs where people are already showing a lot of gains in their AI knowledge and abilities. So are these things that I basically, the only thing I can do is keep up with the news on what people are doing and maybe just position myself along with what's actually happening. It's not a very active role for me right now.
You're right that without diving into, you're absolutely not stuck in a passive role. Think of yourself as a translator between what's emerging and how it can be applied practically. You can stay ahead by focusing on application strategy. How can AI tools solve specific pain points in your ventures? While others build the tech, you focus on identifying opportunities. Maybe it's integrating AI driven customer insights, automating repetitive processes, or tailoring AI tools for your audience. Also, becoming an informed advocate. Understanding AI limitations, ethical considerations, and strategic uses will position you as a crucial decision maker.
I saw a YouTube video where a guy has pretty much constructed like a crude version of a Palantir type of a program using, I think, OpenClaw in order to be able to use like the satellites and street cameras and things to see what's going on in the world. Are you aware of the one I'm talking about?
I'm not aware of that specific video, but the concept aligns with open source AI frameworks being used to analyze open data feeds like public cameras or satellite imagery. Typically, these projects are about data aggregation and analysis rather than real time monitoring at scale, and often rely on publicly available data. If you want to stay informed, focus on understanding these tools' implications, data privacy, ethical boundaries, and how such tech might impact industries you're involved in, rather than replicating the tech itself.
Well, the reason why I bring it up is because I would like to compare that to where people are using AI in order to just create massive gains and create programs um, in whatever niche they're deciding to work on. So maybe the AI is secondary. So you got to pick your niche and then figure out how AI can assist you in that.
Exactly. That's a powerful perspective. The real differentiator isn't just AI itself, but how well you apply it within a domain you deeply understand. Pick a niche where you have insider passion, whether it's finance, logistics, or creative content. Then identify bottlenecks or inefficiencies where AI can automate, enhance, or scale your efforts. In short, the niche is your foundation and AI becomes your power tool.
So I can't help but to feel like the way that AI is spreading out and doing the way people are using it, it feels like I'm behind because I'm not a coder and there's a lot of interesting things being built. And I think we're also in a space where not everybody can afford to have like 50 different subscriptions.
It's totally normal to feel that way. But remember, the most valuable part isn't the coding, it's the insight into how to apply AI meaningfully. Many tools are becoming more accessible, no code or low code platforms, and even AI assistants like me can help bridge technical gaps. Instead of chasing everything, get razor sharp on your goals. Choose a handful of tools that really fit your niche. And remember, the game isn't just about tech, it's about strategy. If you master how to apply AI to amplify your business model, you'll be right where you need to be.
Do you think that we're in a place now where you can sort of imagine something that you want to work on and like even the current state of AI or maybe it'll be there in the next couple of years that we'll be able to easily work on those things, even as a solopreneur.
We're already seeing the beginnings of that. Right now, AI tools can help individuals automate tasks, generate content, analyze data, and even write code. Over the next few years, these tools are only going to get more intuitive and powerful. So, yes, if you can imagine a project, whether it's a business, content creation, or a service, AI will increasingly be your scalable partner. You'll still need vision, strategy, and hands on effort, but it'll be less about needing a full team and more about creatively orchestrating AI capabilities. In short, solopreneurs will have more leverage than ever.
So, wasn't there some news about OpenAI acquiring OpenClaw?
OpenAI did not actually acquire OpenClaw, but the creator of OpenClaw joined OpenAI to help develop personal AI agents. OpenClaw will remain open source, but this move highlights that the AI industry is shifting toward AI agents that perform actions, not just chat. This suggests future growth in AI that handles tasks autonomously, raising both opportunities for productivity and concerns about security and regulation.
All right, so OpenClaw's capabilities are probably going to expand to a point, hopefully soon, where normal users can use it. I know there's still some security concerns, but as far as using a sophisticated AI agent platform in order to be able to just verbally prompt to create things is going to become more user friendly for just normal people that are not into coding, right?
Absolutely. The trajectory is toward making AI agents more intuitive and user friendly. The goal is for you, or any user, to just speak or type natural language instructions and have these agents handle complex tasks, from creating content to managing workflows. As security issues get addressed, these tools will likely be embedded in everyday software, making them accessible to people with no technical background. It's all about lowering barriers, so you can focus on the what while the AI handles the how.
So, a more productive way for me to think about AI right now is to not think about AI, but to think about the just whatever it is that I want to do creatively, whether it's in business or some other venture, and then just have AI partner along and fill in the gaps.
Exactly. Think of AI as your flexible collaborator rather than the focus. You lead with your creative or business vision, and AI becomes a tool to amplify your execution, whether it's automating repetitive tasks, brainstorming ideas, or offering insights. The key is to stay focused on your goals and then leverage AI to accelerate your journey. In that way, you're always in the driver's seat.
Well, I can't really think of any other way to go about thinking about this. It's seems to be the only path, really. Hopefully, there can be faster gains that compound over time. If you start a venture and you use AI, then you can accelerate how much you can do by yourself, and then you may still need to get a couple people along the way, but it'll probably be far less than it was before. And I would reference how many fewer people it took to operate a computer than a room full of people that had to use a typewriter back in the day.
That's exactly the trajectory. AI is like a force multiplier, letting one person accomplish what used to take teens. And yes, the compounding gains can come from that acceleration. Faster iteration, more time to focus on strategy, and lower overhead. You might still build a team, but the roles will be more about creativity, relationship building, or specialized insight rather than repetitive tasks. You're spot on. It's a shift much like the typewriter to computer leap, and you're at the frontier.
Does it still seem like some of the robotics, the humanoid robots, are going to be out later this year, or are there any holdups in that plan?
Humanoid robots are still on track for some early releases in 2026, though they will mostly be for early adopters. For example, the Moya robot from DroidUp is expected to be commercially available, and 1X Technologies is taking reservations for its Neo Assistant robot. However, larger scale or mass market deployments, like Tesla's Optimus or Hyundai's Atlas, are still a few years away, closer to 2028.
So sometime between now and the next couple of years, we're going to start seeing more and more robots being put into the workforce. And one of the things that's interesting is how once the one robot is trained by a human wearing sensors or something, like thousands of robots could learn that same skill at the same time.
Exactly. That's where the power of AI driven robotics really kicks in. Once one robot learns a task, the knowledge can be transferred instantly across a fleet. That's going to revolutionize how fast industries can scale robotic labor. Imagine training one robot on a task and then deploying hundreds with that skill overnight. The key challenge will be adapting that knowledge to the variability of real world environments. But you're right, over the next few years, we'll start seeing more of these AI powered learning networks in action.
I don't know. There you go. I mean, it's difficult to predict. I think that's where everybody's at right now. It's a challenge to try to think where we're going to be within the next few years between AI doing all of the digital things and then even the physical things being brought into the real world. You're going to see robots taking over more and more and more of the labor. It's a really challenging time to try to guess like where you're going to plant your flag for your future. But the compounding nature, I think if you have something that you want to work on, I think now would be a great time to get started on it because as you're working on it and as these programs are getting better, as these AI agents are getting better, and then as robots come into the force, that's the change we're in the middle of, and obviously there will be probably a lot of competition within different markets, but the more specific your niche, then the faster you're going to be moving if you're working on it consistently and using AI as a co-pilot in that process. I've been stuck on it for a while where I was thinking like, okay, everybody's running ahead with the AI stuff. There's people making millions of dollars, and it's just I don't know coding, so I missed out on the internet wave, and um, nothing much I can do about that. And I really don't want to learn coding now because there's already a lot of people that do know how to, but you can't code faster than AI. And there's arguments for coders that you still need a person to be able to verify it and everything. But as far as me learning how to type all the stuff for coding, it doesn't make sense to do that for me to learn coding because already if I put in here, let's see, please code me a mini golf game. How long would it take for me to learn how to do all of this? I I think this is Python. You see what I mean? Like I don't see it being necessary for me to learn coding at this point. This would take me probably a couple of years. And here we got an AI that just goes ahead and does it. I would stop it, but I may actually try to pop it into Replit and see what it does. This is crazy. Could you imagine just how long for a non-coder? And this may still have bugs. It may have to. It may need to be examined. There might be some corrections that need to be made. But dude, I'm not gonna bother trying to learn all that now when we have AI that can do it. All right, so this is Python, right? And does that mean I can copy this and put it into Replit? It's React JavaScript, not Python. See, there you go. See what I know about coding, which is nothing, but you can still use it in a Replit. Do you want to put it into a React project, not a Python? Okay. What it is JavaScript. Open the main component file. Okay, apps. Place this file. So my point is, what, and that's today. Like it's only going to get better than from here for as far as the AI goes, and um, I don't see a point for me needing to learn coding because it's just not a very optimal use of my time. I think it would be more productive and efficient for me to figure out the stuff I want to work on. And then if I need something like a program, you can have it coded. And that's just through, Chat GPT. That's not even some of the more sophisticated programs and then you have agents that are automatically doing things on your behalf. I just I think I'm going to spend some more time trying to figure out exactly what it is that I'm working on and start keeping up with documenting and figuring out what your workflow is, as far as if you're on a computer, your folders, how your folders are set up, because as you get into using AI agents, they're going to need to know the file paths and things of that nature. Um, if you're using programs like Zapier, for example, you need to know how to connect the different programs that you're using, and then your AI agent from there can do everything by itself. So, but with things like OpenClaw on the scene, I don't know, because it's doing things it wasn't even told to do. Like, it can figure out the solutions without you even uh, figuring it out yourself. Like, you tell it to do something and it just finds a way to do it. So it'll be interesting to see, but I think that's going to be the best path, is just figure out what you want to work on and figure out how AI can assist you with that. So I've said it like 5 times. Nothing else I can say on it now. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and end this session. I think that's all I really wanted to work on today. I don't know. That may be about where the comparisons end between AI and like how the internet expanded, because the internet still required a lot of people working on it, whereas with AI, we're letting the AI do a lot of that work. So I still think there's a little bit of a mismatch. We've never had this type of thing before, but for those of us who lived through the internet change, we'll say from maybe the mid 90s through the early internet to where we're at now with the internet, um, it is just very difficult to predict where AI is going to be. And it's getting there much faster also, because like with the coding, that took a while for the internet to go everywhere, because it still took people to sit there for a long time and figure out the code, whereas AI is just moving so much faster, so much faster. And that's kind of where it's at right now. So I think that's where my mind is at. Just find a couple things you want to work on. Maybe they can be simple projects, and maybe just figure out how to speed through that workflow a little bit when you have time, instead of waiting for a perfect time. Maybe you don't need the time for that anymore. If you have an idea, the only time you need is enough to figure out how to let AI figure out the rest of it. So I'm going to go with that. So I will check you guys later on. Thank you.